Now here's Ted with the Isuzu Stylus.
Among their many recent acquisitions, one of General Motors' shrewdest moves may turn out to be establishing the Passport dealer network in Canada. Isuzu products are the backbone of Passport, and the new for 1991 Stylus replaces the I-Mark, and not a moment too soon. This is the kind of economy four-door sedan Passport needs to establish itself in Canada. There are two versions, S and XS. Our test car, the S, is powered by a 1.6-liter 12-valve four-cylinder engine that develops 95 horsepower at 5,800 RPM. Two transmissions are available, 5-speed manual and 3-speed automatic. We got the 5-speed this time around. Fuel consumption is predictably good, 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers or 37 miles per gallon in the city, and an impressive 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers or 49 miles per gallon on the highway. Brakes are the ubiquitous arrangement of front disc, rear drum, but the XS version has four-wheel discs. Price tag for our car was $13,280. Where the I-Mark was an adequate, if slightly clunky econobox, the Stylus is a well-thought-out, nicely styled sedan that looks good but comes reasonably equipped. The base S version comes with child-proof rear door locks, dual manual controlled outside mirrors, rack and pinion steering, daytime running lights, analog instrumentation, and a 4-speaker AM/FM stereo cassette player. It also has something that's often in short supply in cars in this market segment, elbow room. Ingress and egress is very good, and back seat room is surprisingly spacious. Open the trunk and you get 320 liters of storage room with the back seats up. Unfortunately, a split folding rear seat can only be had on the XS version. Isuzu has done a nice job on the interior of the Stylus with well-coordinated trim and comparatively good seats. These instrument pod-mounted headlight and wiper controls are a little unusual, but they work well enough once you get used to them. Unlike the I-Mark and Passport's other economy sedan, the Optima, the Stylus looks good. This egg crate front fascia works well, despite the fact that the Stylus lacks the traditional front grille arrangement. Aerodynamic, or so-called capsule lines, lift the Stylus away from the humdrum styling that often plagues lower-end models. I think this is one of the better-looking cars in the under $15,000 market. And fun to drive, too. You can get up to 100 kilometers an hour in under 10 seconds with the Stylus S, and its cornering abilities are good, if not outstanding. The XS model, incidentally, can be had with a Lotus handling package, something I'd like to try sometime. As usual with cars in this class, highway and wind noise is a little excessive, but the Stylus is no worse than any of its competitors in this department. This is the best Isuzu sedan yet, and can only complement the rest of Passport's offerings. The Stylus will be going up against some well-established competition. The new restyled Toyota Tercel is probably at the top of the list, with the Honda Civic right beside it. Mazda's Protege is also a contender, as is the Suzuki Swift sedan, Nissan Sentra, Ford Escort, Mercury Tracer, Volkswagen Fox, and Dodge Colt. This was a nice surprise, Tony.
A nice surprise, yeah. I don't know what you liked about that egg crate grill. I thought that looked terrible. It's really disconcerting looking thing. But this is a nice product. The styling is refreshingly different, looks very nice, and drives well. It's driver friendly, a nice little car.
Yeah, Isuzu are like Subaru in many ways. They're kind of unheralded. People don't pay that much attention to them and aren't that familiar with their products. I guess the fact that they're associated with General Motors in Canada doesn't help that much, but they're a very good company. They make very good products, and this is no exception.
Well, I don't agree on that comment about General Motors. I think that the fact that they are associated with General Motors would encourage me to buy the car, because General Motors has such a huge dealer network for servicing and so forth.
Yes.
I'd be a little bit cautious if Isuzu was on its own.
Right, but the story about this one is Suzuki is also involved with GM, not as much as it used to be, but a few years ago, Suzuki and GM sold the same car. It was the Sprint, right? A clutch job at General Motors would be at least $300 more than the same thing at a Suzuki dealership, and I have a bad feeling that the same thing would happen here. If Isuzu had a dealer network in Canada, I bet you anything, service would be cheaper.
It's hard to judge on these things, of course, and I'm sure there's reasons for it, but I remember that incident. It was very disconcerting. You've got to buy your spare part from Suzuki.
And one other thing, I mean, I do like this car, but there's one other thing. The intermittent wipers and the fold-down rear seats are only optional. That is really cheesy. I mean, that should be standard, especially intermittent wipers.
It's not that cheap a car. It's cheap-ish at $13,000 and something. You can buy a car like a Volkswagen Golf for less than this, which is a wonderful car, right? And it's a serious contender in this kind of market. But it's got other features. The stereo system was very nice, for example.
It's a good package. I just think that they're nickel-diming us to death sometimes with this kind of, you know, pay more to get intermittent wipers.
Well, I agree. I think it's a bit cheap.
Red light, green light. But the only thing I can complain about, aside from what I just mentioned, is the wind noise. It's a little loud on the highway. On the other hand, price is pretty good considering what you get. Fuel economy, very, very good. Styling, I like it. Tony's not that crazy about it. Cornering ability is very good. Good handling car. As driving dollar value, I'll give it a full tank. I think it's worth every penny.